Hello everyone, it's Thumper, the Rabid Rabbit. In this episode of my Rust Electricity 101 component guide, we will cover the root combiner. Now that we've covered power sources, you probably want to know how to put them together. The root combiner is the way to do that. It's a simple component, takes 5 high-qual metal, generally not a default blueprint on most servers. You're usually going to have to find it in crates and sunken chests, very similar to where you would find the solar panel. The root combiner is used to combine 2 power sources together and output them as a single higher total value of power units. This can be very helpful when you're trying to build a nice big circuit for charging batteries or for running a lot of components in your base. The other place it's very helpful is when you need to put together different types of electricity, like combining wind and solar. You can also use root combiners to combine batteries in certain situations, but there's a lot of limitations to that, and I'll cover that in my battery segment. The best way I can demonstrate these is just by hooking a bunch of them up so you can see how they work. They have 2 inputs on the bottom. When I combine these 2 solar panels together, you can see I have 40 units of power instead of the single 20 that comes in from each of these. This is a good demonstration of one of the bugs of the early stage of the root combiner. It says the input here on each from the solar panels is 40, but really it's just 20 from each of these, and a total output of 40. I'm going to do the same thing with this pair of solar panels, so that I have 2 pairs to work with. Then, the next thing you can do is combine root combiners. So I can take the output of this root combiner, put it on this input, take the output of this root combiner, put it on this input, and now, instead of 2 arrays of 40, we have a combined array of both sets of solar panels coming out at 80 units of power. You can do the same thing with wind power. In this case, I'm going to try 2 different strategies. One is to take 2 of these wind turbines and combine them together with 1 root combiner. You can see they're slightly different, but together they're putting out 90 units of power total. Whoops, that one's giving 90, and that one ain't moving. So, good demonstration of why putting these together is a good idea. Another strategy is to just chain devices as you go along. So I can take this root combiner, put it into one side, and then I can add in another wind turbine or solar panel to this circuit, and I could keep throwing these down and putting in more power inputs and attaching them to this chain as I build. I can take this power here along with this power here and make it one big set by just dropping 1 more root combiner down here and put solar into one side and put my combined wind into the other side. And it's going to vary by wind, but at the moment we're getting 244 units of power output. If I attach it to this counter, which is in pass-through mode, you can see there's the 243 units it's passing through, and a light bulb. Ta-da! There is one bug here that you do need to be aware of. As of the filming of this video, today's January 22nd, 2019, there still exists a bug where you cannot combine root combiners if there is any other component in between the root combiner. So in this example, these root combiners all connect to other root combiners, and that's fine. But as soon as you put another component in between, such as a switch, timer, blocker, or a display, which I have on the wall here, they no longer work properly. I'll demonstrate. If I take the power from the wind side over here and plug it into this display, and I take my solar over here and plug it into this display, you can see I'm getting wind power and solar power from all these combiners together back here. But if I try to combine these 2 sources coming out of the counters, you'll notice that this root combiner does not turn on. Its input is 0, and it says it's empty. It doesn't believe that this connection exists. In fact, if I right-click and hold on this handle here, it doesn't remove the wire, because the wire doesn't actually exist. And that is the bug. Unfortunately, it means you don't have any way of recombining power after any other components. And in the case of batteries, that's challenging because you can't recombine after a blocker. You can only combine live batteries, which has a very limited application. This is a known bug. It has been reported to face punch by myself and a number of other people, and hopefully it's one of those things that they'll be able to address in a future update. But it's important that you know that limitation and know that for now, you can only combine root combiners together, but cannot have other components in between. So to recap, root combiners are typically not a default blueprint. They cost around 5 high quality metal, and you'll find them in crates and sunken chests. They can be combined to each other, but they cannot be combined with any other components in between them because of the existing bug as of January 2019. That should just about cover it for the root combiner.